We're going to talk about this one. Let's see. If your game is going to take longer than 2 years to release, don't reveal it yet. Oof. I often think about this, man. I do. I do. Like the people, the games that have come out that start advertising and marketing and announcing way too early. And I always wonder, and like some of those do really well. Like some of those end up making a lot of money. And I don't know if there's like a study. There has to be a study for like, there has to be a study on, or that shows what is the best marketing window for a game release. Like surely the people in the gaming industry, and I don't know what it would be, I can't even guess, but like that, there has to be money that's been spent. There has to be research that has been made that would show something like 6 months from announcement to release is more likely to yield you X dollars than 1 year announcement to release or 2 years. You know what I mean? Like now, some like the first one that comes to mind, and obviously comes to your mind, is probably Grand Theft Auto 6. Something about these sixes are just really fucking everything up. But no, like somebody like Rockstar, Take-Two, who owns them, like they don't care about a lot of research or whatever, because like they just know their game's going to go amazing anyway, or well, they're going to make a lot of money anyway. That's what they know. Now they could be wrong, but they know that in their hearts. So yeah, I mean, there's got to be a study though. But the game. Let's just talk about the games that come to mind, right? Like there are 3 games that come to mind about this, or like that go longer than 2 years, and I think it's a mistake. First, GTA 6. I think GTA 6 is a product of a couple things. I think like the leaks, like those original leaks, let's call it like 2 years ago now, 3 years ago now, those were real and those were huge. And I think that it made Rockstar, I think they had to get into the conversation probably earlier than they wanted to. And so I don't know when they did their first trailer and announcement at this point. We could probably look that up. Let's see, GTA 6 first announcement date, December 2023. That was the first official trailer. Like, do we want to call that like the announcement, assuming that this Google crap is real and right? December 2023. So like, yeah, it was formally revealed in December 2023. That is 2 years ago. Now, I think they probably would have held out. Take a look at it. I think they would have held out, dude, had they not had their leaks. Man, I really want to play this game. Oh my god, I want to play this game so bad, dude. Holy shite. Look at this. Every time I watch these trailers, like I just like, I mean, as someone who's played a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5, y'all, it's night and day, man, on the graphics and stuff. I can only imagine how it's gonna go, dude. Man, I definitely won't be able to play this in front of my children, but wow, I'm so excited for this. So much twerking in 2025 GTA. But you know, it's GTA. What are you gonna do? So yeah, like I think they were forced to do this, but then they came out 2023, and then it was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna come out, you know, like in 20. What did they say? I think they said 20. Like at the end of this trailer, I don't know if they said, but I think the predictions were from 2023. So you're at the end of 2023 and you do this. Everybody thinks, well, it won't be the next year, but it'll probably be the following year, 2025. We are now in December of 2025. Yeah, coming 2025, right? So that we're a full year behind what they were going to say. And I think like for shareholders' sake, and I think with the leaks and like legal and everything, I think they kind of had to do it. but you know, like it's, to me it's worse overall. Now GTA 6, like you probably, like, is it gonna matter at all? I think this game's gonna do so well that it doesn't matter at all. If they had never, like, I think if GTA 6 would just show up on shelves in digital stores, like one day we all just wake up and it's there with no marketing, I think it would do just as well as just having these trailers. Now I could be wrong, but I think that I'm right. I mean, like, how much money has gone into the marketing of this game? Probably not so much now, but it'd be interesting to know. Yeah, so I think for GTA 6, it's kind of an exception. Like, I think it's an exception, and it's going to do what it's going to do because it's just the elephant in the room. But ideally, it wouldn't be over 2 years from first trailer to game release. And now, so they said it was going to be May of next year, and then now I think it's going to be November of 2026. So that's going to be December 2023. So as 2024 goes by, 2025 goes by. And then on the third year from that first announcement is when that's what we're currently looking at. And some people think it'll get delayed again. I don't know, man. A lot of this stuff looks very done. Cutscene wise, a lot of it looks very done. But hell, man, I don't know. I mean, like, again, the game looks intense. I mean, you think about all the things they have to do and get right, and like they're probably gonna have like an online component, which is the real money maker, right? Like, if Grand Theft Auto 5 was just Grand Theft Auto 5 and not online, I mean, what's the difference in that? Again, somebody has probably calculated that and knows that answer, but it's way less money. Online is what keeps the money coming in, you know, because it's like an MMO. It's like a thing. There's so much ass in this trailer. I guess I haven't noticed that. There's just so much ass. There's ass everywhere, man. Okay. Yeah, I think this is gonna do fine, but this is the first one that comes to my mind. It's like has way too long. Next up, Elder Scrolls 6, bro. Wait, no, hang on. I messed up. Elder Scrolls 6, man. June 10th, 2018. Now, if you remember, they were coming off of a lot of drama with Fallout 76, and they had so much ill will. Like, they came out at the E3 conference, like one of the final E3 conferences as we know it, and they did like a little Starfield trailer, and then they did like, we'll watch it, but 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Hang on, I'm losing count. That's been so many years ago. Let's start over. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Elder Scrolls 6 was officially announced 8 years ago. I was 32 years old. Wow. I was in my early 30s when Elder Scrolls 6 was announced. Damn. This is bad. And the thing is, like, and then Todd came out recently, Todd Howard, and he was like, yeah, dude, I'm not even gonna talk about it. We're not there. And it's like, bro, you taking how many years are you taking to make this fucking game? So if he says, like, we're not there, and I think they have, like, and again, this is like, there's nothing to it. Now, this is before AI. This is not a trailer. This is just, there's nothing meaningful in here. Like you could say maybe this building is meaningful, but like, it's not a city. It's not any land points that tells you anything about the game. The only thing you know about the game is that there's an ocean. There's, like, you're near water, and there's mountains, which is in every Elder Scrolls game. And then there's an old fort or castle. That's it. So again, they just threw this shit together because someone higher up was like, you need to put out, like, for good faith, we got to have people thinking forward, future state about Elder Scrolls 6, so they'll forget about Fallout 76, so we can just, you know, forget about that until we can make it better. And Fallout 76, 8 years later, is not so bad in comparison to what it was. I think it's still pretty bad, but I've played a lot of it, and you know, it's a game. You can play it. It's whatever. Yeah, dude, Elder Scrolls 6, horrible. Don't do that. Don't say we're gonna come out with the game and then 8 years later it's not out. And then really most likely what it's gonna be is it's probably gonna be 11 years later, I bet. I mean, he said it's not close, so if it's not close, like if you're in the video game world and you say the game's not close, I'm not going to talk about it, then you're at minimum 3 years from release. That's what I think. Now, Microsoft and Bethesda could be turning over a new leaf. Is that right? Turning over a new leaf? Is that how you say that? Is this one of those things where it's like bone apple tea? I have to Google that now because now I'm like subconscious. Turning over a new leaf. Yeah, that's right. It's an idiom. Start behaving in a better way. Anyway, idioms are for idiots. No, so Elder Scrolls 6 is probably minimum 3 years. Now, having said that, they shadow dropped the remake of Oblivion. They're probably going to shadow drop the remake of Fallout 3, which has been rumored and all but verified that is being made. Could they shadow drop this and blow up the world? Because like this game is not as hyped anymore because you can't hype. You can't. No hype can last 8 years. No hype can last 8 years. Can it? People still do Star Citizen, I guess. People still do Star Citizen. Star Citizen is like that relationship that you should have ended 20 years ago, but you're still like, somehow you got married and you're still with them and now you have kids, and it's like, well, now you can't not be with them even though you've hated them your whole life. That's Star Citizen. That's if you're a Star Citizen fan. That's your relationship, and I hate it, but you're in a toxic relationship. There's always a promise of something that will never ever happen. But I digress. But yeah, 8 years, you can't hype over that. And so this is, I think I would love for them to shadow drop Elder Scrolls 6. I think that would kind of show good faith. Like for me personally, like knowing that they have screwed up for 8 years and saying like, we're going to do it. Yeah, we'll do it. We're going to do Starfield, then we'll do it. And Starfield hit, but it didn't hit the way they wanted to, I don't think. All our the Fallout show's doing okay, but a lot of this other stuff's not doing well. Like Bethesda's just kind of on the rocks right now, I feel like. I think it would be really cool if they just blew open what games do and just said, this is a big ass release. We're gonna just drop it. I think that would be incredible. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. But man, they should do that, because like if they release Elder Scrolls 6, how they've released all their other games. If you've heard me talk, I don't think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be as good as Skyrim was. I don't think it's going to be as good as Oblivion was. Hell, I don't think it's going to be as good as Starfield was. And Starfield is arguably not that great. I played a lot of Starfield. I played like all of Starfield. And it's okay, but it's kind of like an acquired you have to accept some of the shit. But you know it's not a 10. But you want it to be, so you still do it, but you know, like, this could be better, but it's all I have like this, so I'm going to do it. But like, I'm going to do it, but like, this because I don't have any options. Like, if I want to play a game like this, like a Bethesda game that's modern, this is what I have. But it's like, I love those style of games, but I wouldn't play this game if there was another game that was like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. With Elder Scrolls 6, I think it's probably going to be the same way. I think that their titles have constantly gotten worse. Now, I hope that I'm super, super wrong. I hope that it comes out and it's better than any game that's ever been made, ever. And I hope that they kind of shadow drop it as much as you can. The shadow dropping, even if it's like a mid game, we'll say, like, even if it's like, oh, it wasn't as Skyrim, like, if it wasn't as good as Starfield or Skyrim, let's say that's going to be the case. That's what I expect. We'll see. If they shadow dropped it, I would at least be like, now that's bold. I'm gonna support. That was bold, man. Let's fucking do that. You know, like, dude, I don't know. It'd be good to me. It'd be good to me. Another one I want to talk about, that something that kind of broke me and a buddy. SWTOR. I was a huge fan I was a huge fan of SWTOR back in the day, well, not of the game, of Star Wars. And so this Deceive trailer. So Star Wars, if you don't know, used to be good. This is 14 years ago. Let's assume that's right. SWTOR release date. Now the thing about the SWTOR release is like it took forever for it to release. So yeah, I don't think it came out in 2011. So let's think about that, because I don't think that's right. Deceived, no, we knew about SWTOR. We knew about SWTOR before. I mean, when was the original? Here, we'll see if we can find it. Around 2007. Official. Okay, yeah, 2008. Okay, good. 2008. Okay, so in 2008, yeah, I remember, and I think maybe they marked in 2008. Holy shit, that's so long ago, dude. That's almost 20 years ago. Oh my god. Okay, so in 2008 versus 2011. So it was 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 4 years. And let me tell you, that felt like an eternity. And the reason being that felt like an eternity is because games didn't really announce and then come out that much later. And this was an MMO, and like, so you can kind of understand, because like an MMO and the promise of the MMO, the promise of, dude, the promise of SWTOR was so huge. They were selling it so hard, and there were so many more Star Wars fans back then. And the prequels had just kind of wrapped up, maybe in 2005, maybe. And so I think that like Star Wars was pretty popular. And a lot of people really like, they didn't want to be in the prequel era, but like the Old Republic was like such a compelling thing. It had like a mix of both worlds from the prequels and sequels that you could potentially do. And then these trailers were just so good. These trailers were so good. And so like SWTOR would be like everything. And I was always like first in line on like I was following the release of this game. I watched these trailers over and over again. I analyzed these trailers. I read about every rumor. I was in every community you could be in about this game. I was all in on this. I was hyped about SWTOR probably more than anything, because to me, like, I had missed kind of World of Warcraft. I wasn't really super into World of Warcraft at the time. I feel like I'd kind of missed the boat, but I was like, I'm going to be here for alpha, beta, star. I'm going to be here for like SWTOR, man. I'm going to be here for it. And I was, and day one, I was there, baby. But we all know what happened. It did not answer the question, and it was not all it cracked up to be. There was really no end game. It was so story driven. It was not environmentally story driven. So World of Warcraft is kind of environmentally story driven. So like there's like raids, and then there's like stories you can access through quest, and like the world is kind of living. The world of SWTOR was not living. It was like all of your stories were like the KOTOR games, where you had like quests and you made decisions, and your story changed for you personally based on what you did. And then when you get to the end game, there was no real continuation. And then you could tell like a lot of the stories were edited, because like at the last minute they're like, you can't like so in KOTOR games you could kill companions, you could like kill people or let them die and then change your story. In this, it was like, well, we tested with players and we took away to kill people, so you could be the most evil. I remember we were playing, so again, if you're gonna be story driven, cool, but if you're gonna be story driven and like you're banking your MMO on being like being story driven, then you have to let anything happen, because in a good story anything can happen within reason. Like, I mean, now if these guys are fighting and then like a bunny falls out of this guy's ass or whatever, that's a little stupid, but still, like having like this guy be able to die is good. Having the other guy be able to die is good, right? Whatever. Like you just need, well, like people, there needs to be risk. There needs to be able to like, bad things can happen, good things can happen out of bad things, whatever. You need that. And so I remember we were playing through, me and my buddy were playing through the Jedi Sith thing, and my buddy was playing as evil as he possibly could. And one of his companions had betrayed him, like horribly betrayed him. Was gonna like kill his, like the main character, horribly portrayed him, and like you could tell it was like rewritten. So it was like, okay, what would the most evil Sith Lord do to someone who betrayed them and you didn't really like anyway that much? Well, you're Sith Lord, you probably would kill them. You know what I mean? Okay, let's just see. There was another one. Where was the other one? There's another one that was really good. I think it was Hope. Yeah. Man, dude. Bastilla, or was it Bastilla Sean or whatever? Golly, bro. Man. So it was so hyped, dude. I'm not gonna say it was good because, like, you guys know EA and BioWare. We know where we are now with those companies, and LucasArts doesn't even exist anymore. So, but yeah, so like you could tell like he couldn't kill the guy. It's like, fuck, they rewrote this, and like it's so like even though the stories were a little siloed, you couldn't play the game. And that was kind of the story of this game. It just did not come together to where like the world that you were MMOing in stayed alive. So we all, I played through several stories of like several classes and kind of enjoyed that. But that's not really repeatable. Like World of Warcraft Classic was made in such a way, like, and nobody knew, like what to do. You could play it now, and I do play it now. And it's been, 20 something years, 21 years since it came out. And SWTOR is so dated and so junked up, I don't think you can play it. Now, I've said this before, if they put out a SWTOR Classic, I would probably roll that. I don't know if I would like play it all the way through to top tier level, but I probably would revisit it just to remember. And again, it wouldn't be like a cultural thing, like a I don't know if people would do 24-hour streams of SWTOR Classic, but like they, if they did that, then I would be kind of interested again, because the game is so bloated and there's so many DLCs and like the systems are so, I just can't even get into it. It's like you have to pay for like bag space or some shit. I don't know, man. It's dumb. But, having said that, this game had a long, for back then, release window. Now, had I known 4 years and a trailer every year was actually good compared to now, maybe I wouldn't complain so much. But I've said this 1,000 times, like I don't regret playing SWTOR. I wish I would have played SWTOR and then just went back to WoW and just gone all in WoW. But who knew that WoW would be here 20 years from then, and SWTOR would be dead for all practical purposes, and that Star Wars as an IP would be the weird zombie that it was. See, we used to have hope for Star Wars back in the day. Now, Disney has it, and it's not so great. But these trailers are incredible. These were so hyped, man. They were so cool. No one gave a shit that this was back in the day. Like she was like, okay, so you could look at her and be like, see, in 2025, if this trailer came out, people would be in the comments be like, oh, here's a Mary Sue. Oh, look at her, she's beating ass where nobody else could. No one was saying that back then. Nobody cared that she was kicking ass. You know why? Because like in the original KOTOR, she did kick ass, and a Jedi can kick ass as a girl because you use the Force. It's not all about like your physical strength. So it makes sense that this guy would beat the shit out of a soldier using the Force, but then she could beat the shit out of him using the Force because it's the Force. And look, he tackles the guy. He's like, I got fucking nut. I can't move rocks with my mind. Like, I had to tackle him and grenade myself. That's just badass that he's like doing that, because he's using what he can, which is just raw strength. So yeah, man, like it wasn't like this whole weird, stupid political thing. We all thought this was badass, girls, guys alike. And we were all just way more, less propagandized in that way. And so, yeah, so this is, I think this trailer's called Hope. We were hopeful. There's another trailer actually. I think there was 3 of these, and they're all very good. I don't think we're going to watch that third one, but you should go watch it. I don't know what it's called, but you'll find it. There's a bounty hunter in it, and then there's a Zabrak with like, two Jedis fighting it against 2 Sith Lords, and I think Bastilla Sean or whatever is in that one as well. But yeah, this game, I just want to talk about like this game too, man, had a long cycle, and I kind of wish I just would have walked up on it, because I just got too hyped on it. And again, I learned from this game, thankfully, not to get hyped about games. And so I don't get too hyped about games anymore. I learned my lesson on that. I get excited, but not like that. I was hyped. I was hyped over this. And you can probably see why watching along. And some of you who are watching this, you probably were there for it. You probably played SWTOR. If you played SWTOR, let me know. Let me know what class you played and what you did. And let me know, like, would you play a SWTOR Classic? Let me know in the comments if you got this far. Like, would you play SWTOR Classic? There's like a spot on my screen. I don't know what it is. My kids probably threw some yogurt up there. All right, let's see. So, but in the whole thing here of long release dates and just kind of going back to the main topic of taking too long. You know, these games, like, I think about like Baldur's Gate 3. I feel like it didn't have a huge window. Helldivers 2 didn't have a huge window. And those were gangbusters. And so I don't know. I kind of hope games like just drop more often, man. Because to me, like, if I could just wrap it in a bow, the surprise of the game and kind of like the scarcity, like, since the games are taking decades to make now, the scarcity of it and the surprise of it, like, outweighs, like, I would rather know nothing and have a surprise than like wait half a decade or a decade for the game. And I think everyone would say that. I think if like Bethesda put out a questionnaire, it's like, would you rather Elder Scrolls 6 come out and you just didn't hear anything about it for like 10, 15 years? Or would you rather like you knew about it? I mean, I don't know. I think most people are like, dude, I'd want to just let it drop, dude. Just let it drop, dude. I don't know. What do you guys think? What reveal strategy would you freaking do? What would reveal strategy would you do if you were making this shit? You know? I don't know. That's it. We're out. Like and subscribe. Go to the Discord. Let's keep talking. You know, let's keep talking. See you guys.